Well, if I had 10 minutes to shoot somebody, anybody, when and where, I probably would shoot Iggy Pop, and I could shoot him in my living room, and it wouldn't matter, because Iggy's Iggy. The guy does no wrong. Iggy's amazing, like, for me. Like, Iggy was always just like, I've shot Iggy like 4 times, and every time was just amazing, better than the next. You know, just always a good shoot. The biggest, bestest photo shoot I've ever done. People ask me that a lot of times, and there's too many to count. There is no favorite, but if you put a gun to my head and said, Chris, what I would honestly say, it might be in this one, wait. I talk about it a lot because of the experience, is Michael Hutchins. So, Michael was just special. And this is like 93, and he was just a really great guy and a lot of fun. So my favorite shoots were like Michael, anything with Jane's Addiction, because I love Jane's Addiction. But so many great artists. I was lucky enough to shoot Carlos Santana, you know, who was a hero of mine in high school, Maurice White from Earth, Wind & Fire. I mean, it's hard. There's so many, you know, and you can't go wrong shooting George Harrison. I mean, you just can't. I mean, any Beatle is like a feather. You ask, like, we used to always joke about, like, if you ask any musician, like, if you play with a Beatle, that was like validation. You're a musician, kind of a thing. It's the same thing as a photographer. You shoot a Beatle, that's it. And for me, it was them, and also the Beach Boys, because I shot Brian Wilson and Mike Love. So I got both. Before I shot Nirvana, I have to say this, that nobody knew who they were in Los Angeles, that's for sure. It wasn't until Nevermind came out and blew up, and then everybody knew Nirvana, and then everybody, like my clients were like, oh my God, you shot Nirvana. And I'd be like, yeah, so? And they'd be all, oh my God, we gotta hire you because you shot Nirvana. I mean, through my career, it's the funny part I always say, like, after I did George Michael in '88, I got hired by all these pop artists because you shot George Michael. So you could do New Kids on the Block and all these other pop artists. Then all of a sudden in '91, I did Nirvana and Jane's Addiction, and I became this, you're the guy that shoots grunge. Now, there were more famous photographers in that world, but in LA, there wasn't. And so I was the guy that was shooting Seattle before Seattle broke, as far as they were concerned. No, I'm not, so like I always say, it's their opinions. But I felt at the time, for me, was about shooting the people, the band, the music I liked. In a sense, I don't call it a surprise, but like Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam was just that Eddie was special, and you knew it, and you thought to yourself, like, okay, if he's this special, there's something, I just hope everybody sees how special he is, and then, you know, and you knew like this was gonna take off. Same thing happened with Fiona Apple. Fiona Apple's one of those artists that you just went, oh, she has it. Whatever it is, she has it. There you go. So I have 2 kinds of lists. I have the list of the people I wanna shoot that are on my hit list. That list always grows because there's always some new artist. Everything from, it started out with like Eric Clapton's on that list, Prince is on that list, U2's on that list, tons of artists. Then there's the new artists that come along that I would die to shoot, like Deontward from South Africa. I would give anything to shoot that band and spend a day shooting that band. Then there's the artists that I did shoot that I would love to go back to. I would love to go back and shoot Iggy Pop again. I would love to shoot Perry Farrell again, especially after all these years. I've known him since 1988 or 89, and just seeing where I would go with that now and what we'd get now compared to then. I'd love to shoot Pearl Jam again, and the guys, because we had a lot of fun in '91. Every time we shot, it was always fun.